Morning students, my name is Dr. Abhishek Kumar Mishra. I am Assistant Professor of Physics in Government Vishwanath Yadav Tamaskar Postgraduate Autonomous College, Durg, Chhattisgarh. Today, in this video lecture, I will explain Rayleigh and Raman scattering of Laser Physics and Application paper for MSc 4th semester students of Hemchand Yadav, Durg University, Chhattisgarh. The outline of my lecture is different types of scattering, in which Raman scattering, Rayleigh scattering, stimulated Raman scattering, hyper-Raman effect, and photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy. I will explain the principle, mechanism, and applications of these different types of scattering. Start with Raman scattering. As we know, when electromagnetic radiation irradiates a molecule, the energy may be transmitted, absorbed, or scattered. In the Tyndall effect, radiation is scattered by smoke or fog particles. In Rayleigh scattering, the molecules scatter the light. No change in wavelength of individual photon occurs in either Tyndall effect or Rayleigh scattering. In 1928, Sir C.V. Raman described another type of scattering called as Raman effect or Raman scattering. This had been theoretically predicted by Schmeckel before the successful experimental demonstration by Raman, and therefore sometimes it is also referred as Schmeckel-Raman scattering in German literature. In the Raman spectrometer, sample is irradiated with intense source of monochromatic radiation, usually in visual part of electromagnetic spectrum. Generally, this radiation frequency is much higher than vibrational frequency but less than electronic frequencies. The Raman scattering can be looked at an inelastic collision between incident photon and molecule. As a result of this, the vibrational or rotational energy of molecule is changed by an amount delta Em such that delta Em equal to Ei minus Es. If we consider nu I is incident frequency and nu S is scattered frequency, then Ei can be written equal to h nu I and Es can be written as h nu S. Therefore, delta Em equal to h nu I minus h nu S. If value of delta Em is positive, means nu S is smaller than nu I, this giving rise to Stokes Raman line, and if value of delta Em is negative, means nu S is greater than nu I, giving rise to anti-Stokes Raman line. The Raman scattering process can be described by following equation: P equal to chi1e plus chi2e square plus chi3e cube. In this equation, P represents polarization and chi1, chi2, chi3 are first, second, and third order optical susceptibility. In this equation, the first term is connected with linear polarization, describes spontaneous linear Raman scattering, which is studied by Raman spectroscopy. The second and third term describe spontaneous non-linear Raman scattering, also called hyper-Raman scattering. The third term is also responsible for stimulated Raman scattering. Figure shows the energy level for Rayleigh and Raman scattering. The levels denoted as E naught and even represent electronic energy levels, while the levels numbered with quantum number V represent vibrational levels. If sample is illuminated with photons of energy h cross omega L, here h cross means h upon 2 pi and h is Planck constant. This energy is smaller than resonance energy, that will be equal to difference between two energies levels. Then not all photons interact with sample are absorbed, but cause potential energy of interacting molecules to be raised to virtual state, that is h cross omega L above the ground state. Almost immediately, most of molecules return to the ground state through the emission of photons having same energy as the incident photons. This elastic scattering is called Rayleigh scattering. A small fraction of molecules drops back to first excited state having vibrational quantum number V equal to 1 instead to ground state. In this case, scattering is inelastic and process is known as Stokes-Raman scattering. The scattered radiation observed at lower energy h cross omega L minus omega vibrational. Molecules that are already in excited state having vibrational quantum number V equal to 1 will undergo an analogous effect when illuminated with laser light. When excited molecules drop back to ground state having vibrational quantum number V equal to 0, the scattered radiation will be observed at higher frequency, that is h cross omega L plus omega wave. This is called anti-Stokes-Raman scattering. Here omega wave represents frequency of given vibrational mode of molecule. Next is stimulated Raman scattering. Stimulated Raman scattering is also called stimulated Raman spectroscopy. This was discovered by Woodward and Ng in 1962. In their experiment, they introduced a cell containing nitrobenzene into ruby laser cavity. They resulted with strong emission at a wavelength that could not be associated with wavelength of ruby laser. At first, this was explained on the basis of luminescence, but after some years later, Garmer explained it on the basis of two-wave mixing. SRS means stimulated Raman scattering is third order nonlinear optical phenomena. The mechanism of stimulated Raman scattering is shown in figure. When incident light exceeds a certain threshold in the material, it can enhance or stimulate the rate of Raman-Stokes or anti-Stokes emission. This stimulated Raman scattering shows a similarity to stimulated emission in the optically pumped laser. The intense incident beam at frequency omega L generates the intense Stokes radiation at the frequency omega S equal to omega L minus omega wave. Here omega wave represents frequency of given vibrational state of molecule. The Stokes radiation in turn stimulates additional Stokes scattering from the virtual scattering state. In contrast to linear Raman scattering, the stimulated Raman scattering can achieve 50% or more conversion of the pump wavelength to the Stokes line. The stimulated Raman scattering is a special case of four-wave interaction. The frequency for this interaction can be given by omega 4 equal to omega 1 plus omega 2 plus minus omega 3. In terms of wave vector, we can write delta k equal to k1 plus k2 plus minus k3 minus k4 equal to 0. These equations describe a non-degenerate case with 4 photons having different frequencies. The stimulated Raman scattering represents a partially degenerate case, that is omega 1 equal to omega 3 and omega 2 equal to omega 4. The stimulated Stokes scattering can be written in omega 4 equal to omega s equal to omega L minus omega wave. This can also be written as omega L minus omega L minus omega s. That will be equal to omega L plus omega s minus omega L. Therefore, omega 4 equal to omega s and omega 1 equal to omega L, omega 2 equal to omega s and omega 3 equal to omega L. The intensity of stimulated Stokes scattering is given by following equation. In this equation, chi3 represents the susceptibility of third order, while delta k represents phase wave vector. For stimulated anti-Stokes scattering, omega as can be given by omega L plus omega wave, that will be equal to omega L plus omega L minus omega s. From here we can write omega 4 equal to omega as, that is frequency of anti-Stokes line, omega 1 equal to omega L, omega 2 equal to omega L and omega 3 equal to omega s. Phase matching condition for stimulated Stokes scattering can be given by delta k equal to k1 kl plus ks minus kl minus ks equal to 0, which indicates that phase matching between pumping beam having frequency omega L, the Stokes beam and molecular vibrations is stabilized automatically. In the case of anti-Stokes stimulated scattering, delta k equal to kl plus kl minus ks minus ks, that will be equal to 2kl minus ks minus ks. Here ks represents wave vector for anti-Stokes Raman line. This indicates that phase matching condition is achieved only for certain direction for which ks equal to 2kl minus ks. Figure shows directions of stimulated anti-Stokes stimulated Raman scattering. If we see comparison between spontaneous Raman scattering and stimulated Raman scattering, then following points are observed. First is the intensity of spontaneous Raman scattering is several powers of 10 lower than pumping, while the intensity of stimulated Raman scattering is comparable with pumping beam intensity. The second is stimulated Raman scattering is obtained exclusively above the threshold intensity. The threshold depends on the medium gain having g omega s and length of pumping area. This gain can be expressed by following equation. In this equation, del sigma upon del omega represents scattering cross section and gamma equal to width of vibrational line. The third difference is spectral width of spontaneous and stimulated Raman lines depend on spectral line width of pumping lasers. For narrow widths of excitation lasers, the stimulated Raman lines are much narrower than spontaneous Raman lines. This figure shows experimental setup for observing stimulated Raman scattering given by Woodward and Ng. In this figure, M1 and M2 represent laser cavity mirrors, PC represents Pockels cell, lambda by 4 is quarter wave plate, S is sample and L is used for focusing the light, that is lens, and SP represents spectrometer. Applications of stimulated Raman scattering. The stimulated Raman scattering can be used for study of molecular conformational structures and material composition analysis. It can also be used for non-invasive, level-free imaging for living tissues and ultra-fast microscopy. The next topic is Hyper-Raman effect. In Raman scattering, when more intense light is employed, the non-linear Raman processes occur in the sample, such as Hyper-Raman scattering. When the intensity of incident radiation increases, the probability also increases that 2 or 3 photons will participate in Raman and Rayleigh scattering. Such phenomena is called Hyper-Raman scattering. The Hyper-Raman effect arises due to second-order colligibility term. Figure shows Hyper-Raman scattering and Hyper-Rayleigh scattering with the involvement of 2 photons. It is a 3-photon process. The system is excited with 2 photons having frequency omega L and emits 1 photon at the frequency 2 omega L plus minus omega wave. Hyper-Raman spectroscopy is a modified version of Raman spectroscopy and many of basic operations are same. The signal produced by Hyper-Raman scattering is weak. However, it can be used to provide vibrational information on some silent modes which are suppressed by conventional Raman scattering because of issues with molecular symmetry. It is of 2 types. First is resonance Hyper-Raman spectroscopy and second is surface enhancement through plasmons. Turban found that when a beam of giant pulse Ruby laser at frequency 14,402 was brought to focus inside liquid or fused quartz, a fraction of incident energy emerges as scattered radiation around frequency 28,804. The scattered radiation was found to vary as square of laser intensity. The next is PARS, which is abbreviated form of photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy. In the various methods of nonlinear spectroscopy, stimulated Raman spectroscopy and coherent anti-Stokes Raman spectroscopy are often used and have given many results on the Raman spectra of gases. Acoustic detection of Raman process was first reported by Barrett and Berry by using continuous wave laser source. Photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy is a nonlinear spectroscopic technique based upon the selective population of a system by process of stimulated Raman scattering. The necessary condition for this process are the transition involving the initial and final energy levels must be Raman active. It means the transition must involve a change in the molecular colligibility. The frequency difference of 2 incident laser beams must be adjusted to equal the frequency of this Raman active transitions. The occurrence of Raman spectrum depends on change in colligibility of molecules and does not depend on transition dipole moment. Raman active transitions can occur for only molecules that have no infrared spectrum. The photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy technique was first demonstrated experimentally using low power continuous wave laser excitation of gaseous sample. It is also used to study pure rotational Raman transition in gases. The photoacoustic techniques are based upon direct absorption of light in the sample, but photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy technique is fundamentally different because of light is not absorbed by the sample, the upper energy level of transition is populated by stimulated Raman process rather than by direct absorption. The experimental arrangements for photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy are similar to required for nonlinear Raman techniques such as coherent anti-Stokes Raman scattering, Raman-induced Kerr effect spectroscopy, and stimulated Raman gain spectroscopy. These techniques measure an optical signal by means of photodetector, but photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy employs a microphone to sense the energy that is deposited in the sample after the passage of laser beams. The basic features of photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy process are shown in figure. Two incident laser beams having frequency omega p and omega s interact with two energy levels E0 and E1 of molecule. In these frequencies, omega p is referred as pumping frequency while omega s is referred as Stokes frequency. The Raman transition frequency can be written by following equation: E1 minus E0 upon hc. Here h is Planck constant and c is velocity of light. The frequency of laser is so adjusted that omega p minus omega s equal to omega naught. The photoacoustic Raman signal magnitude may be deduced from change in internal translational energy of sample due to Stokes amplification process. One pump photon is annihilated for every Stokes photon which is generated by nonlinear Raman interaction, and a molecule is transferred from lower to upper energy states of transition. The change in internal translational energy is determined by computing the number of Stokes photons which are produced in the amplification process and equating this number to number of vibrational or rotational quanta which are formed. Figure represents photoacoustic Raman spectrum of two new bands of carbon dioxide at pressure 11 torr is shown in figure. Here at temperature 297 Kelvin, pumping power equal to 400 kilowatt and signal power equal to 100 kilowatt. Here red line represents calculated spectra while blue line represents experimental spectra. Application of photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy. Photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy is easy to handle from the view of optics, just mixing and focusing of two laser beams near a microphone. It also provides useful information about the Raman spectra of gases. Dear students, in this way you learn different types of scattering such as Raman scattering, Rayleigh scattering, hyper-Raman effect and photoacoustic Raman spectroscopy. Thank you.